Hi, seniors. This is part two of the Finding and Winning Scholarships presentation. This part of the presentation is going to focus on tips for winning scholarships and how to strengthen those scholarship applications. All right, so how do you earn a scholarship? There are three main things that are going to help you win scholarships: academics, community service, and extracurriculars. So, for academics, it's going to be important that you have a strong academic record. It's very important that you finish this semester strong, that you finish senior year strong. The scholarship committees will understand that part of your high school was disrupted by COVID and remote learning. But as we are back in school now, it's just going to be important that they see that you're continuing to try your best in your classes. You will need to have a college prep curriculum, which you all do coming from Vernon Hills High School. They're going to want 4 years of core subjects, and they may ask for your ACT or SAT score, or it may be optional for some of these scholarships. It's just going to depend from scholarship to scholarship. For community service, they're going to look at the depth of your participation. It's going to be more quality over quantity. How long of a commitment was this? Did you take any leadership positions? Did you take on any initiatives while you were part of this community service project? And then finally, for extracurricular activities, this is talking about anything that you do outside of school hours. Um, this could be arts, athletics, clubs, organizations. It could be a part-time job. It could be a hobby. They are also going to be looking at the depth of participation, the length of your commitment, and any leadership and initiative you showed in that extracurricular. These scholarship committees are going to know, again, that you were subject to what was available during a pandemic. So if you feel like you haven't been able to do as much as you had hoped in high school, that's okay. That is going to be true for all current seniors. So just make sure anything that you do have for extracurriculars that you go into depth explaining. And again, remember, the number of activities on your resume is not as important as the quality of your participation. So don't just try and pad your resume with every little thing. And certainly don't feel like you need to start doing different community service at this point. Take what you have, expand on it in your application, and go from there. So, how can you make your scholarship application stand out? All right, so you're going to want to look at what the scholarship qualifications call for. All right, look at the scholarship description and figure out, what does that selection committee want to know about you? You want to tailor it to whatever they're trying to figure out about you, and if you match up with what the scholarship's mission is. Make sure that you specifically address the scholarship qualifications and explain how you stand out. Be authentic and be yourself, and be detailed and descriptive. And those last three links on this slide are going to go to short videos put out by the Betcher Foundation, which is a nonprofit in Colorado. They have a lot of tips for how to make your scholarship app stand out. I'm going to play this one first. And it's just a little over a minute.
Hi, I'm Katie Kramer. And I'm Katie Kramer. And we'd love to share with you a tip from our new book, All the Wisdom and None of the Junk: Secrets for Applying for College and Scholarships. Between the two of us, we've been reading applications for over 30 years. And we'll be the first to tell you that one of the number one things that makes the best applications are that the students are really fully embracing their quirks. unfortunately, a lot of people are trying to impress us, and understandably so. So they tell us what they think that we want to hear, and as a result, their application comes off as flat and lifeless.
Honestly, we really want to know what you think makes you uniquely special. And so it's so fun sitting around after we read applications, and you can totally tell which was the student that was bird boy, or talk about the student that loves to vacuum when we ask them what they truly love to do. So go with that. Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, let your geek flag fly. Really embrace those parts of yourself that are really going to engage the reader because they are uniquely you. We'll never forget the example as well of the student who so loved British culture that she left a Super Bowl party with her friends in order to watch Downton Abbey. Or the guy who told us all about how he collected atlases for his bathroom reading material. Really embrace that. It's going to show your courage and your self-awareness. Two great things for reviewers to see.
Absolutely. So for more tips like that, check out our website where there's more information about the book.
Okay, I'm going to go through a few examples to show you how a more descriptive application is going to come across stronger in the minds of a committee reviewing it. So instead of just saying, I was a food bank volunteer, it's much more descriptive to say that I organized monthly food basket collection and distribution with National Honor Society chapter. Instead of just saying for athletic involvement that I was on soccer, you could add more detail saying I was the starting forward and 2-year varsity letterman for the soccer team. And then finally, instead of just listing student council as a club you participated in, give them some more details about what role you played in student council. You could say, as the vice president of student council, I helped plan school assemblies and represented the school at our statewide conference. Okay, so the scholarship essay content counts. The majority of scholarships are going to require an essay, and you don't want to take a college essay and force it to try and work for a scholarship essay requirement. So make sure that you answer the question, that you keep in mind the selection criteria, that you're personal and descriptive, plus organized and concise. Here are a couple sample essay prompts that you might see when reading through scholarship descriptions. For example, what are the most important qualities a leader must have in today's society and why? And the second one is a very common prompt that we see a lot on different scholarships, which basically says, please include a succinct personal statement which uniquely addresses each of the following elements: community involvement, leadership, academic achievements, research, scholarship, co-op experiences, and any short or long-term goals and aspirations. Check out the scholarship essays that worked and 10 common essay prompts links on the slide for other ideas of ones you might encounter along the way. And then let's just read a little excerpt from 2 different scholarship essays. So these prompts or these essays were responding to a prompt about students being interested in healthcare. So the first one says, I passionately aspire to be a pediatrician specializing in the care of newborns and infants. This particular field of healthcare possesses my unwavering interest and total attention due to the fact that the nurturing young individuals is synonymous with fostering our world's future. Today's children will properly develop into tomorrow's leaders. Our chaotic globe aches for so desperately if they can remain healthy enough to do so. Versus, I never wanted to be a dentist. As a 3-year-old, I dreamed of wearing an orange jumpsuit, not of the prison variety, and blasting off into space. Floating amongst the stars with the galaxy before my eyes was to me a surreal experience that would make me happy for the rest of my life. Now, a mere 15 years later, I work in a dental office as a dental assistant, and I see tear-stained 4-year-old squeezing his mother's hand as he lies still in the chair. These are both very well written. However, I would argue that the second one is a stronger essay because it's so much more personal and actually tells a story. The first example is well worded. It talks about healthcare and kind of the person's views on its role in society, but it's not something that could be it is something that anyone could write. There's not a specific story there to that student. Another piece of a scholarship application can be recommendation letters. Most of the time, if you have a teacher letter of rec that you sent to a college, that can definitely be sent on with your scholarship application. If you didn't have to ask a teacher for a letter of rec for your college applications and you find that you're going to need one for a scholarship, just make sure that you allow enough time for that recommendation. And as always, make sure that you follow up with the teacher and say thank you because it is a big time commitment on their part. Here are some mistakes to avoid. One, not reading or following the directions. Forgetting to spell check or proofread, not including any information they may require, like a transcript or a recommendation letter, and then not answering the essay question properly or missing the deadline. The scholarship committee receives applications not in the volume of colleges, right? They have a smaller pool that they're reading from. So they really can and will compare students' applications to each other. So any of these types of mistakes will make it easy for another application to stand out more than yours. All right, so some final tips when we're talking about what are some of the things that successful scholarship winners do. One is they don't wait to apply, they start researching now. They don't rely on parents to do all the work. They take care with their essays and applications, avoiding mistakes. They're not just relying on one place to find scholarships. They market themselves well and they highlight positive aspects of their lives, especially their community involvement. They do not apply to just one or two scholarships and assume they will get one. Students who receive multiple scholarships typically have applied to lots and lots of scholarships. They're not just receiving the ones that they applied to. They have applied to many, haven't received many, but did receive a few, and that money adds up. Successful scholarship winners are organized, well-rounded. They try to benefit others as well as themselves, with the activities in which they are involved. They understand that test scores and grades alone are not going to win the most scholarships. And they're not looking for the easy way out. Scholarships are a lot of work, but hard work is going to pay off and result in an easier college life without a job or maybe a loan-free life after college. Any little bit helps. Um, they also will check with their colleges to make sure that outside scholarships will not affect their financial award. And finally, this last slide here, always remember the 5 Ps. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Basically, this is just to say students who are organized and prepared are going to have the smoothest time with all of these scholarship applications, and the quality of their applications will stand out. That wraps up all of the tips for how to win scholarships. So this ends part 2 of our presentation. Please go to part 3, which covers scholarships that are specific to Vernon Hills High School students and are therefore your best shot at actually winning money.